Good morning, everyone. Very good morning. Shall we start the session? Yes, all right. So let's start the session. So whenever a web page is created, whenever a hyperlink is given or created with HTML, so they are used with the anchor tag, A tag. And this tag uses several parameters, and the most important one is the HREF. So one is attribute HREF, one is a tag, that is the A anchor tag. And this tag can be used without an HREF value, but in this case the tag is being used as an internal bookmark of the page. Whatever the bookmark, whatever the architect significant that is used, that is designed for the model, that is designed for the significant changes, that is designed for the significant user experience, that must be model, that must be given as an experience model of the user. And the HREF parameter, that is attribute, which specifies the link document URL, may also contain a URL or relative URL which does not specify the full URL. So whatever the data, whatever the URL we are containing out, that is used for the host name, that is used for the URL, but rather expects the browser to use as the host that supplied the page containing the web page. So whatever the hyperlink we are using up, whatever the anchor tag we are using up, that is used with the AHREF. So A is a tag, HREF is an attribute. Then there is a products, then A will be closed. So whatever the content we are given in the HREF, that is used as an HTML file, that is used as a product A, that is to choose for. So that HTML will be used as an HTML tag, that HTML will be used as a parameter with the HREF tag. And this tag can be used without an HREF value also, that can be used as an internal bookmark, that can be used as the architecture, significant to the design model, that could be significant in the user experience also. So in this case, in this example, the link is to a page on the same machine and in the same directory as a current page. In addition to the location and the number of or the name of web pages, an anchor can also pass along with the parameters with the page request. And when these parameters are specified in a page request, it usually means that the requested page is completed out, it is given out, and the requested web page is capable of accessing the parameter information and using it to build the return page. The return parameter, that return page will be given as a return argument. And these parameters are passed with the request as name, value pair, that is separated by the ampersand. So it will be used, it will be separated, it will be given from the web page by the question mark. And this parameter or this following page passes with the two parameters. One is the product ID and the rate code, that is assigned with the value, that the rate code is assigned with the value and the product ID is assigned with the value. So value and the character we can say. So there is the HTTP www.mystore.com catalog products.jsp product ID and the rate code. So these are the various HTTP, these are the various URL that will be used to make the argument, to make the link. And the requested page of the product is JSP. This extension will be given as a clue that the enabling technology used by the executable page is Java server page. So there is a JSP that will be used for the web page that clues the enabling technology. And in addition to the HREF, the other significant parameter is also target. And when a parameter or hyperlink is selected out, it typically loads a new document in the same browser window as it was given with the original document. And this is not always the case because when the frames are used up to divide a browser display area, so each frame displays a separate web page, a separate criteria that will be given with the web page that will be given as a frame. And when frames or multiple browsers are used up, it is also possible for a hyperlink to specify a frame or browser instance to load. So whatever the loading part, whatever the data part we are using up, that hyperlink will be used to load the data. And the frames and browser instances can be assigned any name, although a few target names are also assigned. So one is a blank. So make the link load into the new browser window. Make the link load in the immediate frame set parent of the document. Self, make the link load in the same window the anchor was clicked in. This is the default behavior of an anchor. Make the link load in the full body of the message, full body of the window, and it is a way to break out of a frame set. And as per this example, an anchor tag also specified a name target, that is a main doc. Now, next is the top that makes a link load in the full body of the window, that is a way to break out that you've done. Then in the following example, the anchor tag will be specified as a main document. So this is the AHREF chapter 1 on the chap1.html. So A is attribute, HREF is a tag, then chap1.html, then target is the main doc. Whatever the target point, that is a main doc. In chapter 1, you have application basics and A will be closed. So when is the A will be starting up, then A will be closed. In between there is a content. Now next is a form. How to create a form, whatever you say. Let's begin with the forms. So HTML forms elements are basically used for the website, web description, web application. And this HTML forms also are parts of the web page that can accept user input. And the HTML form is a collection of the fields that allows user to enter the text or to select from a list. Whatever the data they have, whatever the collection they have, they have to collect the fields, they have to use or enter the text to select from a list. And in addition to the text boxes from the field that can be rendered by the button, there are also the check boxes, radio button that can be used. And if a web page has the forms in it, so the browser will render it or will render that form with the appropriate user interface that allows the users to enter and to change its value. Whatever the data they have, whatever the input they have, so that they have to change that value, they have to change that appropriate control that allows the user to enter its value, enter its change. And most of the forms have a special button in them. When they click by the user, submit the forms and it's contained to the web server as a part of another web page request. So whatever the data they have, whatever the submission they have to check out, they have to use that form and it's contained to the web page's web server that makes the web page contain a web page request. And the web server also receives the request for a special web page or the executable module that is capable of reading the forms, field value, and also processing them on the server. Whatever the data they have, whatever the capability they have to take the forms, field value, and also processing them on the server. But the ultimate result is to view the HTML page that is sent back to the requesting browser. So whatever the browser they have, whatever the data they have, that browser will be used for the requesting server, that browser will be used for the requesting data. And in this we are using the HTML page to send back to the browser. And most probably we can say the processing involves communicating with the objects on the server. whatsoever the data we are using up, whatsoever the communication we are using up, that is used with the objects on the server. And forms are a key mechanism in the interaction of the web application users. But my means only the one that will be used as an interaction, that will be used as a key mechanism for this. And the more sophisticated mechanism for getting user inputs are discussed over here. That is discussed over the file that will be available as a dynamic client. Now, how the form will be declared, that will be defined by the form tag. And the two principal parameters are the action and the method. One is action, one is the method. And this action parameter is the URL of the executable that processes the form. And the method specify how the data will be sent. So one is how or what is the data that to be used, that is to be used with the executable file that processes the form. One is the method, that is how the data will be sent to the server. And these two valid parameters are the get and the post. One is a get, one is a post. And whenever a get is used, the value of the old fields are appended to the URL. That means they are appended means they are carried out, they are going at the below or at the end as a parameter. And the web server sees the form submission as a typical GET request as if it were a standard anchor tag. And W3C does not recommend using GET as it has a more internationalization problem and will not work for a larger form. Instead, the value post is also preferred, and this method also tells the browser to the package the field values in a physical section of the request that is also used the data body. So whatsoever the data, whatsoever the post, whatsoever the get they are using up, that is used with the special section of the request that is used with the data body. And the plain vanilla HTML has a few core forms element. One is the int, then select, then text field. So these are the three parts. Input, that is used for giving the or making the text boxes. Select, that is used for making the or we can say that is used for selecting the content. Text area, that is used for making the last text area over here. And this tag also specifies either a list box or the drop down list from which the user can select something. And this is a multi-line text input that will be given, that will control and allow the user to enter into the large block of text. And this is really an overloaded text that will be configured to act like a push button, checkboxes, radio button, or a single line text entry field. And this parameter also identifies the field name. This will be used by the executable object file web pages when the processing of the data is done. And that is a parameter, that is a formal parameter, that is a tag type that determines what type of user interface controls will be used and how the data will be used, how the support it will be supported out, how it will be used, and what type of data it will be requested out. And there are four basically common values that is used. Not four, this is six. One is a checkbox. So if I want to, we can select multiple items. For example, when we say about the hobbies, listening, dancing, there are multiple hobbies of that we can use a checkbox. So if the user checks the box, the field value will be assigned the value specified by the input tag value parameter. Hidden, that does not display a user interface control. And they are usually set here by either the executable file or either they are created as a client-side scripting in the dynamic HTML. That will be hidden from the main we can say the main details. Password displays the password style entry field. The characters entered here are not displayed to the user. Radio, display a radio button over here, and this value also specifies the radio buttons to group, and when selected, so this field area will be selected out with the radio group, radio button that will be assigned with the values. Then submit. Submit means when a user click on this button, submit button, it displays or its values. Each and every field or text area will be fetching out and it will be submitted to the server. Then text, so it displays a single line entry box. And other type also exists, but these defines the core set of the input type that are used and are available in most of the browser implementation. But the key point here is that simple forms collects textual information from the user either directly or indirectly or translating a checkbox button, list box, selection box, and define the mechanism, whatever the mechanism they have, so they will be submitted to the server. So let's take one example. This is a full-fledged example of the form. It includes each and everything. Each and everything includes a text, password, radio button, submit button, everything. Text check boxes also. So this starts with the form tag. This is the form tag. This is the you tell. This is the empty tag or container tag. Don't ask from me. This is my question. Yeah, this is a container tag because it is mandatory to close the tag. This is a form, method equals to post, action equals to something. So this is the something means this is the URL that is given in the double quotes. So whatever the URL we are given in the action, that will be given in the, or that will be assigned with the, or that will be used for the get, and the method is post. Now first is P, that is used for the paragraph username. That means we have created one text box, it is a label, username. Then for the text box we have created, this is the input type equals to text, name equals to username, size equals to 10. Size equals to 10 means we are assigning, we are supplied maximum to maximum 10 characters in the text box, not more than that. This is done, P will be closed. Then next is the password. In this the type is password. If we are not supplied the type with the password, then the asterisk or the dots will never come. Yes, that means the password is not hidden from the user. This is open to each and everyone. So this is mandatory to give the type as a password in case of making the password field. So type equals to text for making the text box, type equals to password for making the, typing the password that is hidden from the user. Then P, logo on as, P will be closed. Then P. Now there are three radio buttons. One radio button that have a value supervisor, again supervisor, then clerk, then guest. So there are three radio buttons over here. How do I know this is a radio button? Because over here this is given as a type equals to radio. Then this P will be closed. So this is the one part in which one P is used, and there are three radio buttons over here, and these buttons will be closed by using the P tag. The input type equals to submit. Next is a normal button, that is a submit button, in which we are giving the value, we are giving the name, when the P will be closed. So two text box, three radio button, and one normal button. This is the output. This is a username, text box, password, text box, login as, this is the label. Then there are three radio buttons, one is the supervisor, clerk, and the guest. Then logon is also a normal button. And this button will be used, this will be used as a file. We can give the text boxes also, but this is not the text boxes example. This is only example of the how to create the text box, how to create the password box, how to create the radio button, and how to create the normal button. That is a submit button or any one button. Next part is the frames. That means dividing the main window into the multiple part, that is known as frame in simple terms. The same window into multiple parts, into multiple divisions, into multiple, we can say the percentage or the pixel, that is known as frame. A controversial element in the HTML element is a frame set that divides up the browser display area into the rectangular regions, each rendering its own HTML document. And this frame set also defines a number of the frames the display that should be broken up into and their size or the portion. Separate frame tags identify each of the frame with the target frame, with a target value, and this will also tell the browser which web pages will be requesting out when initializing the page. And once a frame set is loaded up, once it is done with the frame set, so this individual team will be loaded up as well, and the user can also work with the page. That can also select the hyperlink in any of the display pages. That can also make the new document for the frame that is linking out, or that makes the loaded name frame. And this frame will be used to define the table of the content in the main document frame. So that is typically a long list of table of the content entries and each hyperlink to the area of the website. So each of the links specifies the main document frame target where the linked web pages should be rendered, should be produced, and the output is produced with the Java doc application. That is also another example.